This is London. The year is 1870. It's not the tourist city you know today. It's a steam engine of 4 million souls, stacked between coal smoke and blackened bricks. It's the capital of the richest empire in history, but where thousands of people sleep in wooden boxes because they can't afford a bed. In the next few scenes, using advanced AI reconstruction technology, we'll live in this Victorian-era metropolis for 24 hours. From dawn in the factories of the East End, to midnight in the dangerous alleys of Whitechapel. You'll see and feel what it was like to walk, work and survive in the city that invented the modern world. East End, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. It's 5 in the morning. The sun hasn't risen yet, but the East End is already awake. Here, the day doesn't start with the light, but with the factory whistle. The first thing that hits you is the smell. It's not just smoke. It's a thick, almost solid mixture of burnt coal, industrial chemicals, and the rotten smell of the River Thames. The Victorians called this fog pea soup. It clings to clothes, skin, and lungs. In the streets of Whitechapel and Shoreditch, thousands of people are already walking through the narrow streets. The sound of boots hitting the damp sidewalk, women carrying baskets of laundry to wash, men marching to the docks, hoping to be chosen to unload ships arriving from all over the empire. And the children, little ones, 7 or 8 years old, running to textile factories where they will stay until nightfall. They don't play, they survive. In one-room houses, entire families share the space without running water, starting the day with nothing but weak tea and hard bread. You would hear metal hitting metal, hammers in blacksmiths' workshops, the creaking of coal wagons, voices in dozens of languages, Irish, Eastern European Jews, immigrants from all over the British Empire, all pressed into these streets. The East End is not silent, and it's never empty. The city, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. 3 hours later, and only 3 kilometers away, we enter a different universe. This is the city, the financial heart of the planet. Here, the pace changes. At a rapid pace, men in top hats and black overcoats cross the streets between the Bank of England and the Royal Exchange. They don't carry tools, they carry leather briefcases. The sound here is different. It's a deafening roar of wooden wheels on cobblestones and coachmen shouting to make way. Traffic in 1870 is just as chaotic as it is today, but horse-driven, private carriages, horse-drawn buses and delivery vehicles. Inside the Royal Exchange, the fate of the world is traded under a very high roof. Coffee from Brazil, cotton from India, tea from China. Everything passes through these hands before reaching the rest of Europe. It is the heart of the financial district. The taverns near the offices serve quick lunches, roast beef, potatoes, dark beer. The men eat standing up discussing business. At 11 in the morning, some are already full. Look at the crowd. It's a strictly male world. Women are not in these offices. The city is a masculine world of dark suits and quick decisions. Docklands and factories, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. While the city negotiates, other hands do the hard work. At midday, London's true engine roars at full power. On the docks along the Thames, thousands of men move like ants under the sun. Ships from India, China, the Caribbean, and Africa arrive daily. Their holds packed with cotton bales, tea chests, coffee sacks, and rum barrels. Inside the warehouses, the air is thick with dust and the smell of exotic spices. Workers roll barrels, stack crates, and load wagons that will distribute goods throughout the empire. Everything the city trades passes first through these calloused hands. In the factories, the pace never stops. Coal-fired furnaces burn day and night. Workers operate dangerous machines without protection. Children, always children, crawl under the looms to collect fallen cotton, risking being caught in the gears. The factory whistle announces lunch, 15 minutes to eat bread and drink water. nothing more. On the streets, a different economy thrives. Women sell flowers they bought at 4 in the morning in Covent Garden. Girls carry trays of oranges strapped to their shoulders. Men stand behind folding tables selling oysters, hot coffee or meat pies to workers who can't go home for lunch. This is the workforce that built the richest empire in history. Not the men in top hats, not the traders at the Royal Exchange. Without them, London stops. Without them, the empire crumbles. But nobody in Mayfair knows their names. West End, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. In the afternoon, London puts on its most elegant mask. Welcome to the West End, Mayfair, Kensington and Belgravia. This is where the money made in the financial centre is spent. The streets are wide, tree-lined and crucially clean. 4-story mansions flank tree-lined streets. Each one has a private garden at the back and a side service entrance so that the staff remain invisible. In Hyde Park, the aristocracy parades their carriages. There is no soot here. The women wear dresses that weigh kilos, layers of silk, corsets, hats with exotic feathers. The men walk with canes. Children play under the supervision of uniformed nannies. On Regent Street, glass windows, a recent innovation, display Chinese porcelain, Indian jewelry and French fabrics, all imported, all expensive. Inside, white-gloved salespeople serve customers who never ask prices. The tea houses are packed at 4 in the afternoon. High society women meet to talk about balls, weddings and scandals. The tea comes on fine china. Cakes are served on silver trays at the same time that a child in the East is coughing up soot in a windowless weaving mill. The contrast is brutal. 2 cities occupying the same map, separated by an invisible chasm of class and money. At 6 in the evening, gas lamps are lit in the main streets. The West End begins to prepare for the night. Theatres, operas, restaurants. The London that appears on postcards and paintings. But it's not the London most people live in. Whitechapel, 8 p.m. to midnight. When the sun goes down, the East End doesn't go to sleep, it just changes function. Whitechapel at night is a maze of shadows. Public gas lighting is scarce, creating pools of yellow light surrounded by total darkness. You need to know every corner to avoid getting lost or ambushed. The pubs are packed, the air thick with pipe smoke and the smell of cheap gin. For the exhausted worker, alcohol is the only way to forget the cold and hunger. The streets are constantly bustling, women standing on street corners, offering company for a few bucks. Children selling matches, wilted flowers, anything to get coins. Men coming out of clandestine bookmakers and pickpockets watching the distracted. But the most shocking thing is in the dark alleys, people sleeping in crates, under bridges or leaning against walls. These are the people who couldn't afford even the cheapest accommodation. London in 1870 has thousands living on the streets. There aren't enough public shelters. Crime is constant. Robberies, violence, exploitation. The police make rounds, the bobbies with their whistles, but there are areas where even they hesitate to enter alone after dark. At midnight, pubs are closed by law, but the city doesn't fall silent. There's always someone awake. There's always someone working. London doesn't stop. It never has. And in a few hours, everything starts again. 24 Hours in London, 1870. This city of brutal contrasts, where wealth and misery coexisted just a few kilometers apart, has not completely disappeared. London has changed. Coal gave way to electricity, carriages to cars. Factories closed, but neighborhoods remained. Social divisions changed shape, but never disappeared completely. If you walk down these streets today, you'll still feel the pulse of that Victorian era, just like that dawn in 1870 that you've just witnessed. History leaves its mark. And if you want to see other great cities of the past come to life through technology, subscribe to the Rising Cycle channel. Let us know in the comments what our next destination should be. Thank you very much for watching. Your presence here is very important. See you in the next cycle.